Hey out there, it's Matt Johnson with another Rest Eat Move podcast, solo in the studio. I had this thought today. I wanted to record it. I got two choices today. I can continue to do the work. It's Friday when I'm recording this. I have work to do. I have emails to send. I have projects that I'm working on. But those will always be there. Or I can go for a run. It's a beautiful day. I haven't had a chance to exercise the last couple of days because of my speaking schedule, and I need to get some activity in. But I have a decision to make. I have a choice to make. I can sit here and do the work that needs to be done, but that's the work that always has to be done. Or I can make a decision for something that I need that will probably make the rest of my day and those other pieces of work that I will do better. But it's a choice. It requires discipline, requires decision making, requires clarity. It requires taking a step. So today's topic is why not? When we're stuck with these decisions, when we're stuck with these choices, I think many of us think, well, we want to have this motivation, this desire, this burning feeling to do it because we want to do it. Well, sometimes we don't have that. Sometimes we don't have that reason why, or that driver, or that motivation, or the willpower, or the focus, or the clarity. And sometimes you need to say, why not? And so I'm recording this today because I have a decision to make. Do I keep doing the work that always will be there? Or do I make the choice to do some work that will make everything better? Why not, to me, is something that I try to live my life from, because there's times where it's easier to not take action. Yet, not taking action is an action. And that's an interesting point as we look at our society. Obesity is at its all-time high, cancer, heart disease, anxiety, depression, mental health issues, digestive issues. Medications are at all-time high. And yet, why? We have better hospitals, better nurses. We spend more money. We have greater technology, more information. We don't need another podcast. But there must be something going on, because I think people want to feel good. I think people want to feel their best. I think they want to feel fulfilled, happy, have that purpose, that drive, that fulfillment. Yet, we don't always have this big, motivating, deep desire right on our thoughts. And when you think about, finding your why or discovering your why or that purpose, before I began, I kind of looked up, why do you need this purpose or this reason why behind any choice you make or any habits you have? Well, it's critical for motivation because it represents the deeper purpose, the reason behind pursuing the goal. So it has 5 things. Number 1, it clarifies purpose. So when you have a why, you have the clarity. It provides the direction. It also gives you kind of that belief that the effort you make is worth it. And that's so critical. I meet so many people that are not quite sure that what they're doing is going to give them the results. That creates us in a paralyzed situation. We're looking for the easy button. Having a why enhances your resilience. So during these tough times or setbacks or challenges or you get off the rails, your why acts as an emotional anchor. It kind of levels you out and it helps you kind of persist, and that's that resilience. It increases commitment, the commitment to do the things that you know you should do, that develop the habits, that create the rituals, and next thing you know, there's less effort. And then you don't abandon some of those goals. It improves your decision making. So we have decisions every day. That's how I started today. I have a decision to make. When you have a why, those decision making processes are much easier. It improves the decision making. It clarifies why you're making those choices. It becomes easier, keeps you focused. And the last thing, having a why, it creates this fulfillment, this satisfaction that I feel like I'm making the right choices for me. And then the achievements, the rewards. So when we don't have a why, or we're not quite sure of that why, I highly recommend trying to discover it, trying to remember it, trying to maybe find it for the first time, or clarifying it. I know my why, though, when it comes to my health. I want to be there for my kids, like my kids, my wife, my community. I love what I do. I need the energy and the passion and the excitement. But not every day am I motivated to get out of bed and exercise. Not every day am I motivated to choose the healthy food option. And I don't always choose the healthy food option. Not every day do I sit and kind of work on myself to be more present, work on breath awareness, foam rolling, diaphragmatic breathing, 8 hours of sleep. We're humans. And the first element of being a human is, to me, the point of this whole conversation, and it's a blessing and a curse. Our number one hierarchy of human needs is self-preservation. Thank goodness we are designed to survive. I mean, as you think about 8 billion people in the world, how does that happen? Well, something is deep inside of us to keep us alive. Survive. It's called self-preservation. And so when you're 40 pounds overweight, or you're taking 3 medications, a statin medication, a blood pressure medication, acid reflux medication, you're starting to have digestive issues, more intolerance to different ingredients and items like gluten intolerances and allergies, and we can survive. We're pretty adaptable. And we are surviving. Every person that I meet is surviving. They're getting through all their challenges. They're alive. And I think this is sometimes the challenge. It's a decision to make. Do we do a little bit more to get the outcomes I think all of us want, or do we get stuck in neutral in that survival mode? Again, it's our core driver. So when I have a decision to make, I know I have to do 50,000 things today. We all have 72,000 thoughts. A lot of those thoughts are all in that survival state. Yet most of us are going to survive whether we make some of those minutia choices. Like for me, am I going to work for the next 7 hours on something that will be there on Monday? Or am I going to take the effort to invest in myself? It's a choice. And I think a lot of people are in this survival mode. They're just trying to get by. Too much stress, too much pressure. They've come off the rails. It's going to take too much effort to get back. They're not as happy. They're not as healthy, but it's just so much overwhelm to get going. And I think about when you're stuck in the snow, and if you're listening to this and you never have to deal with it, but when you're stuck in the snow, you can either just floor it and let those tires spin and hope and pray that you get out of there, or you have to rock it back and forth and create some momentum. Because if you just spin the tires, you may get out of there, but you may dig yourself deeper in the snow. Or when you're on an airplane, all the effort is on takeoff and landing. And so you got to rev up the engines, use a ton of fuel, create some power, some thrust, and then you take off. Creates a lot of effort, a lot of energy. And then this time of year, I think about water skiing. So the hardest part about water skiing is getting up. The boat's got to tow you. You got to kind of put in a couple seconds of a little bit of torture of holding on to the handle, water in your face, maybe your bathing suit's coming off, and then you get up on plane and it becomes easier. An example like that is some people can't get up, and that's okay. And so they have a boom, so you can just go out there and you hang from it, and now you're skiing right away. Or these boats are so much better and so much more powerful, you get up a lot faster versus some of the old boats would take a long time for you to get up there. Or maybe you're going to use 2 skis instead of 1 ski. There's different progressions. There's always different progressions. And so back to my point. To get to us to where we want to go, out of survival mode. I don't think anyone wants to live 80 plus years in survival mode. And as I look around, whether you're in your 20s or in your 80s, there's so much more stress, so much more pain, so much more challenges than ever before. And I see us kind of not thriving or being our best. You know, our tagline at On Target Living is "You have the power to feel your best." And the reason behind that is I truly believe most people want to feel their best. Some people have felt it before, some people haven't. But to do that requires us to shift out of neutral from survival mode and to take some action. And we know the most driven people with that powerful purpose can get through and adapt and be resilient to anything. And not all of us have this powerful drive when it comes to our health. Again, why are 40 million people obese? Type 2 diabetes has never been worse. Cancer, heart disease, these are very painful, traumatic diseases, and yet they're at their all-time high. We can survive. We can be in that state, that neutral state of just staying alive, or we can shift it to thriving. But it's a choice. And when you think about effort, effort leads to results. No effort never will get you results. Winning the lottery might happen for 1 in a bazillion, but for most of us, we have to put in the effort. We can't control the outcome, and that's the frustration. And I think that's what gets us confused. We set out on a journey, we want to lose some weight. Yet we have this vision that we're going to lose 40 pounds in 4 weeks. And then after the first 3 weeks, you're only down a pound. We give up. Even though we had the why, we want to lose the weight, we want to look good, we want to feel good. I'm not feeling my best. I have this extra weight. I want to look good in a bathing suit. Yet we want this different outcome, but we don't realize we can't control the outcome. What we can control is the process, the choices, the decisions. Takeaway today. You better find your why. You get 1 ticket. You get 1 life. You have a why. You have to find it. You have to discover it. You have to search for it. You have to protect it. You have to reinvest in it. You have to rethink about it. Again, it's your life. It's your ticket. But these choices can be challenging. They require effort. They require us to take action. Now, one key point, there's 2 choices we have, but they both are choices. We can take no action, that's a choice, or we can take action, another choice. One requires effort, and one doesn't. And when I feel when I'm in these crossroads, and I know that I need to go this certain direction, I have the why, but I still don't have that motivation for some reason. And then I remind myself, why not? We are meant to be thriving. We're designed to survive, but we're meant to be thriving. And we got to flip that ratio. Let's just say 20% of the time we're in survival mode. That's okay. But 80% of the time we better be shifting into that thriving mode because I think we're worth it. I think people need us. I think we all have a purpose. But when you feel stuck, maybe you feel stuck right now, maybe there's some things that are hitting you. Maybe it's weight or digestion or skin or hair or nails or medications or disease or family history. Maybe you just feel a little bit down because you're kind of in a rut. This is when we just say to ourselves, why not? Why not take 1 hour today and invest in myself? The other choice is to do nothing and wait till the end of the day and see if you have anything left to give. Usually we don't. I spoke 3 times over the last 5 days. My message to everyone was, you're needed. Everyone I've met is needed by at least one person. They may not know it. They may be told it. And that's, to me, the motivation of why not. Why not invest in your health? You can get one ticket, and you deserve to be thriving. We'll see you again next time.